Hey, ladies and gents, just wanted to hop on here real quick before you hear the next upcoming episode. It's been a while since I've done that, but we on the welcome back tour, so a little welcome back preamble, I guess is the word is, or preview. We'll go with preview, right? The name of this episode, we will probably name it as Walk It Out, and not from the old school hip hop song that is normally played in stadiums and all that kind of stuff that gets us up and moving and jumping around and shaking our tail feathers, as they say, right? We're talking about reference to what happened in Columbus, Ohio here over the past couple days, where a group of neo-Nazi folks, looks like young people, maybe some old people, who knows, if they had on masks, decided to walk around the town of Columbus, Ohio. And what the human response should be, and that is of the different view from that, right? So we'll probably name the episode Walk It Out. I wanted to bring to light something here that I'd missed in talking, because of course your boy gets talking, so he had missed a few things, right? That's all right. Y'all bear with me, right? I think so far in the game y'all have. Thank you. Honestly, thank y'all family for your support, right? But a thing is brought to light where basically deals with the idea, the thought that was brought to the table, right? Because we bring different thoughts to the table, to talk and discuss, to understand the different sides of life, right? It's far between conservative and liberal. Understand that those words, like white and black, are made up. They're pseudo to keep people fighting each other, right? Again, you either think that you, and we've done some episodes on this. If you want to re-reference them, there's some episodes that I did during the election day, or what would have been election day last year, because I kind of did like a mock kind of thing, and I spoke on it last year because I wasn't going to do it this year, which I didn't. Dealing in the ideas where, again, conservative is dealing with holding on to something, preservation of things, right? And where liberal is dealing with bountiful, right? Giving and providing access to things for all or for more, right? And that's that bounty idea, right? Again, you and your mind are a combination of those things on a daily basis. In your life, you are both preserving or making bountiful to multiple different things in your life, right? Especially when we're honest with each other. You see that. Many of us, especially this time of year, with all the food we're about to eat, that some of it is necessary, some of it in excess, right? We're going to wind up expanding that waist or those hips, right? Of which we all struggle. Y'all have heard me on this podcast talk about my own weight struggles. It is a thing, right? Excuse me. We don't mean to make light of anything on here, guys and gals. We're all gals and guys. We're all going through the soup together on some level, right? Some of us are the carrots, some of us the onions, some of us are the chicken, right? We're all part of the chicken soup together, okay? So it's just understanding some things there. And the idea that was brought to light was for the quote-unquote conservative folks to show their mettle in being kind and nice as this transfer of power happens in January and all this types of stuff, with it being Republican. Okay, and I can tell for most, probably, I can't hear the groans and the laughter, right? But we know from some of our liberal friends, as they say, that some of this is a bunch of hogwash, because people see, again, what this comes down to is what you think, how you think, not the label they put on you, but how you think and your response and how you deal with people from how you think. This is why you still got that battle going on in the Middle East, so on and so forth, because the way people think, they believe one group of people is literally supposed to be X off the map. And that's not up to us to do. That's up to the maker to deal with. And we live in peace as is possible down here, right? So I just wanted to bring that to light, this idea of people doing and being good to each other, man. That is something that we can always preach, that we can always talk about, because truly, for as horrible as we are to each other, or as most are, which we will see this retail season, be good to your workers out there, ladies and gentlemen. Be good to the cashiers and the clerks, the department workers and stuff. Be good to these people, man. They trying to provide service for you. Let's in turn, we thank the service person the veterans so much. Let's start thanking these workers, man. No more of the same rhetoric we've been doing. Let's be kind to people for once, right? So that's what I got for y'all, this little excerpt, and we will talk to you soon. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, family out there. One and all, right? As they used to say in the circus, welcome one and all. Oh, how life is really a circus, y'all. Y'all welcome in us to 800 plus, pushing toward 900, right? Plus strong, man, who believe in, who hunger for, who thirst after, long for that which is a different view. Family, y'all welcome in today. I hope y'all are having a powerful and impactful day today, right? As we are at the 23rd of November, a couple days away from good old Turkey Day. Let us remember, as we celebrate on Thanksgiving, lives lost, people groups murdered and executed in the guise of friendship, right? Because we know folks like that in our lives, man. Public reputations and peoples and homes harmed and broken because people want to get close to you, want to get next to you, man. No, just like the OJs used to say in the song Backstabbers, there's real people like that out here in this world. And I highlight that to say this: know those in your lives that are not like that. Stay close to people that are not like that, who love this life, who search after, long for a different view of this life, y'all, family. That is so very real. We're going to put a couple topics on the table today for those who do not know. For those who do know, this will just be a refresher course for you, right? Understand that in this life there are dangers. You're told you're going to go through trials and tribulations, and be of good cheer because you got the ability on the inside of you, in your brain, in your eyes, in your ears, right? You can smell it with your nose. You can touch and taste it with your hands and your mouth, right? That which is freedom, ladies and gentlemen. That's a real thing, man. That ain't went nowhere. Just because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is dead, just because Malcolm X is dead, just because Carmichael Stokely, right, is dead, just because different Fannie Lou Hamer, right? Because these people have passed on to the next life, that does not mean that what they were fighting. This is also including white sympathizers, right? The ones that they call Negro lovers. Come on, somebody, right? The Rainbow Coalition, shout out to Fred Hampton one time, and all of the Black Panther Party. We're talking various people group, the freedom fighters, ladies and gentlemen, the words that they use and take and twist to hurt people, to throw you off the path of truth, man. Shout out to y'all standing up for the homeless, the impoverished out here, those who own apartments, the renters. This is not a political statement. We talking life, ladies and gentlemen. We get up and work sun up to sun down, right? We work on our families. Because see, one of these things that happens because you work on that plantation for so long, the lines start to get blurred. You'll put your family down to be able to take care of somebody else. That's not the point, y'all. You work so that you can take care of your family, not so that your family can take care of work. Yeah, right? Oh, man. To those of the listening group right now, listen to this. You got a tambourine. Shake it one time, man. If it's a little thing of change in your hand, right? We're having church this morning. You do not work to support somebody else's family at the cost of your own. That's not, no. Life is more give and take, right, than we are letting it on to be. And we just support the take part of it. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. So some things we will talk about today. The first one we want to start off with here is just a session with the family, just talking, man. There's no There's no real bringing out any light to history. We will get to that. We will get to that topic because I want to bring out in a source that I've read, right, from explorers who were on these lands when it was started, where you've heard me talk about this before. This is knowledge that I didn't, that was passed down to me like everybody else, right? You have knowledge that is passed down to you, whether good or bad, and how you got to constantly keep checking and rechecking what you're learning so that you can stay on the path of life that is good for you, right? Things that give you profit, like we've talked on this podcast before. Here's the quote that I saw this morning, and it's very impactful. It's very telling of how we have to be as people, right? We miss this, chasing after the shine of the diamond and not realizing the precious stone itself, right? Do you ever feel okay? Of course, I got this from a friend of mine here. Do you ever feel okay, but you're empty at the same time? You know, personally, while this is trying to bring out a light here, guys and gals, understand that, and gals and guys, understand that sometimes this idea of feeling okay and empty at the same time, you're not okay at that point. We got to stop doing that, man. And Demi Lovato, you know, shout out to Demi Lovato one time, right? You know, the songstress that made the song Sorry Not Sorry, and everybody went up in an uproar because, again, people are showing their sexual expression in the video and nobody likes that, right? Because we all got to have on that good, what's that popular TV show? Because that's really what it is in life, especially with men dealing with women. And I know it's not all the men, but we're gonna continue to go there, y'all. This is what it is. You don't get better by denying the thing. You don't, right? You get better by, you don't deny the cancer in your body if you want to treat it. You got to say that you got it, right? And then you take the steps to dealing with it. Handmaid's Tale, yeah. This is how they want the game designed. This is how it was. You know, this is why I said what I said about white women, y'all. Supposed so-called white women. This is why you see a lot of shift and changes across all the cultures, really. It's time for folks to stop being used as birth mules. Y'all, you're not sex and birth mules, right? We're grown men and women out here that make choices. This is what we teach our kids anyway, right? That make choices that impact our lives, and we're supposed to be making good ones. This is where we're at, y'all. This is where we're at. Church folks want to sit here and start lining and pledging allegiance, not to the things of holiness in the Bible no more. You want to pledge allegiance to this mess. These formed lands here. You know, how they made up states over in Africa. Same thing, how they made up states here in the Americas. Just chopping up land. That's a problem, y'all. We, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get away from that. Excuse me one second. I always forget to take certain noises out of the background, so then they come across on the recordings here. My apologies, but you gotta understand that guys and gals, this thing is a little bit bigger than what it is. You know, I had on my social medias, I had made a post, right, that deals with the idea of the past, present, and the future. We've got to deal with the things, right, in our present that came from the past, so that we can build futures for ourselves, y'all, in the future. This is a real thing. So we got to deal with what the hell was going on in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s and the 20s, right? 1920s is what I'm talking about. The 1900s, the 18, 17, 16. Don't do that thing. It was so long ago. Don't do that. You got legislation today and mindsets in people's minds from that stuff back then. That's not that. No. That's like saying you broke your leg back when you was 12 years old, but the limp you got is from something else, man. Like you could have something else in your body that's causing you to limp like that. But of course that broken leg may be an issue. You're not going to talk about it? Do you ever feel okay, but you're empty at the same time? You're not okay, right? You're not okay. You're empty. You got to refill yourself. We got to get okay with charging ourselves. I know we make fun of witches and stuff like that with charging things and stones and rocks and things that are coming from the ground made by this good God, creator, great spirit above us all, comforter, right? And friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Yeah, I know we like to make fun of the thing, but it's real, y'all. There's energy here, man, that helps you in this sick life people have made. Help you recharge from that mess. You got to get close to that kind of stuff, y'all. That's nothing hokey to be laughed at. That's real. May not be real to certain people who don't look at it as real, but it is still real just the same, right? The end of the quote says, and you just want to talk to someone, but you feel annoying. What we have done to each other, ladies and gentlemen, family, what we have done to each other. This is horrible, man. This is horrible, man. But and let me say it again. And you just want to talk to someone, but you feel like you're annoying. Because that's what it means by saying you feel annoying. So you just stay quiet. What? This is in the mind of people today, which is why we read about suicide deaths days later, which is why we read about mass shootings days later, which is why we read about homeless people dying days later, which is why we read about children committing, like the Menendez brothers, committing such horrible acts, and we thumb up our nose like we holier than. Because all it is opportunity, y'all. All it is opportunity that separates us from those who do these things. That's all. But by the grace of God, there go I. We miss it, y'all. We miss it. And we got friends and family members and family members and friends of family members around us dying and hurting while we live superficial lives. Come on, somebody. People need to be spoken to. You know, now to bring in some of the things here that have happened today, just to put it on the table while we got some time to talk here. You don't have government officials in Tennessee making bills denying interracial marriage when you're able to talk on situations and subjects together with each other, because then you can galvanize the proper legal and financial backings to protect yourself against those who believe that certain life should not be. You don't have fools dressed up still on talking about the 1930s and the 20s and the 40s, right? You still wouldn't have fools in Columbus, Ohio with masks on. Don't take the mask off, because we see you very clearly, where you just think that the Jew and the Muslim and the heterosexual and the transgender and the homosexual and the black man and woman and the white woman and the Hispanic person, come on somebody, and the Asian person, right? Shout out to the Maori people, the Maori tribe, right? Over in New Zealand fighting for freedom from their government wanting to take it from them. Can't people see that there ain't a damn thing changed in life but the date on the calendar? That's why I keep saying it, y'all. Folks still, no different than you saw in The Woman King, folks still, the man still want his woman in the kitchen with the mouth shut, not doing nothing, but doing for him. That is not the team created by the great God above. That's some mess people misinterpreted or reinterpreted, I guess. That don't work. That just leads to more death and violence and arguments and disruptions and strife and anger of all kinds. We got to get okay. Like I've said on this podcast, we got to get okay with being not okay with the mess around us people are saying is okay. It's got to get natural. It's got to feel comfortable, like in a good clothes, good outfit you put on to the day. When you go to the club and you're looking good, right? It's got to feel that same way. People want you quiet so this thing can go back to the 1880s. That's what it's about. That's what it's about, the 1860s. Us sitting here fighting over something that we shouldn't be. Not calling people by their proper names and pronouns. See, but that kind of mess started back then when you wouldn't give recognition to the various tribes on these lands. People groups, you know. That's all tribe is a family. People, it's a group of people. Mama, daddy, brothers, sisters, uncles, cousins, right? Aunts, grandmamas, grandfathers. Or if you're in the South, right? Or the Midwest or whatever, big daddy, big mama, right? Shout out to our families one time, y'all. Because that's what's coming up on Thanksgiving. It's a celebration of this life, getting through the problems of this life together as family, man. And the interconnections that we have with other ones. That's why Friendversary is so cool. Had a chance a couple of days yesterday to enjoy a Friendversary, Friendsgiving with some very dear friends, right? Of my wife and I. And it's wholesome, y'all. It's necessary. Shout out to young people, man, because again, see, they have separated themselves from their parents, from the stuff that is fluff. Again, the way it's said in scripture, I counted dung, right? Let me, well, we got a few minutes here, right now. No, be willing to talk to each other. We got to be willing. Put it on the table, y'all. Put it on the table. You know, I had seen something from a friend of mine here on the social medias. He had posted a thing talking to, and this don't have nothing. I bring this out not for the conservative or liberal thing, because that is mess. Y'all have heard me say that on this podcast. These phrases we use to break down government's a bunch of mess, right? Much like we do in our own lives to deal with the pains and stuff. We develop weird realities. That's why the TV show WandaVision is so impactful, because it shows a real thing. We make these weird realities to be able to deal with the horrors we go through in life. Being neglected, being mistreated, being cast aside is an old school way of saying it, y'all. Like, I want it brought real into the table, because that's what's going on, right? As we look in various retail stores, and all you see are these mean girl dresses, because see, that's the thing that resonates with people. Mean girls, jocks, right? Mean boys would be jocks. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that resonates, but never the geek, right? Or like dude who just passed away from a little while ago from Saved by the Bell. What was his name? Scooter? I don't remember the Screech. Yeah, there you go. Screech, right? The geek, the nerd, man. These people that somewhere along the line we suck down so much syrup that we put down the people who are studying book knowledge. Philosopher, we put them down. When did that start? The people teaching you the fundamental parts of life. See, again, like in the definition of the word disciple, since our Christian brothers and sisters like to get on their high horse about how undiscipled people are. The disciple is the one that is learning from philosophy. This is in the definition of the word now. Who is teaching them the fundamental things of this life? You are just re-spouting that which was given to you by some slave master somewhere. You're not teaching the word of life and truth that sets people free. You just saying something so another person can put money in a collection plate for you, not even for them. And then get mad when other people say it. Oh man. So when you get down, we're in Philippians chapter 3. I always like doing that. You know, when we in church service, y'all, and you hear the pastor put on that good dramatic voice, Philippians chapter 3, right? And it's all just different ways people speak and stuff like that. Nothing against it. But again, if you're doing all that dramatical mess and you ain't helping nobody, then yeah, it probably should be made fun of on some level. Paul talking to folks in Philippi, again, another one of these areas over in Macedonia, Greece, right? over there in Europe. But you got to give certain level of, this to our Christian brothers and sisters, man. You get tired of the Western way people do things, and then you go over to the East. Understand, bias is bias, whether it's West or East, North or South, right? Bringing that North and South for our brothers and sisters here in the plains of America, in the lands of America, from sea to shining sea, as the song goes, right? Verse 8, yea, doubtless. See, again, you can know a thing, y'all. I count all things lost, but for the excellency of the knowledge of Christ Jesus. Now, again, right, in Christ Jesus, my Lord, you can switch out that for the Maker, because again, we're talking the Son of God, right? When you mention Jesus Christ Jesus, right? For where your essence, for where you come from. Doubtless. I count the rest of it loss. Excellence is dealing with something when, again, excellency, the word excellence is dealing with something that deals with the highest order. You can't go no higher. And there is nothing more higher than learning that which is made us down here. The purpose of life, right? The meaning of life is what we say. Again, we've already addressed it from the first chapter of the Bible, y'all, on this podcast. It's to dress and keep this planet. Regardless of what belief you believe in, who you loving on, who you decide to have a good sex party with on a Saturday night, which many of us will probably do, right, family? Come on now, somebody. Okay, Jay, you preaching carnality. No. That's what Master told you. You can enjoy that which is down here on this good earth and responsibility, y'all. I don't, if y'all like sitting at home on a Saturday night, let's take it all the way back, because that's where we get these thoughts from. Watching, what's a good 1950s TV show? Not Leave It to Beaver. Well, I guess Leave It to Beaver, maybe. It's that Donna Reed, Donna Knows Best, whatever. You know, if you like sitting down with the beer there on the snack table, because this is what's in the minds of people that we pass down to our kids. That's still today, which is why you could have these neo-Nazi. Ain't nothing neo about that mess that happened in Columbus, y'all. Ain't nothing neo about it. Just like ain't nothing new age about this bill in Tennessee. I believe it is. Let me see. I got it pulled up here. Tennessee bill. Something you can Google right on. Again, this ain't like unknown. It's time for that unknown knowledge mess to go out the window. 878, Tennessee House Bill 878. It allows for whoever wants to, and again, this is normally where people will stand up, because again, you're letting your bias show. On top of it, listen, I understand those who truly do disagree with a thing. I get that, right? We all got the right to choose. But then at some point we let this is where we talk about in this podcast that the prejudger is broken. Because now what happens is that you take that, which is your, hey, I just don't like this, and now you turn it into a thing like nobody should be anywhere ever. Nobody should be anywhere ever. Like you turn into Thanos a little bit. You just got to snap everybody out of existence. No. That's not up to us to do that. As a matter of fact, because you don't believe in the thing, you should actually be the one to be like, hey, we can make refuge for y'all over here. The same thing is the reason why Israel and Palestine cannot agree, because one or both are not agreeing on y'all live there, we live here. Same mess goes on in America, because you cannot allow for the darker skin tone folks to find a place to live in peace. So now we got to go somewhere where we're constantly seeing folks like these quote unquote neo-Nazi people marching around you daily. See, they don't have to have on the black suit with the red and black flag, with the Nazi symbol, with the mask on, with the red and black mask on, for them to be in this same mindset. See, they got smiles on the face. Again, as the lyrics of the song go, all the while they want to take your place. Backstabbers, right? This is, hey. This is what it is. And this is not to also, again, to our black brothers and sisters, this is not to spread the hate they've started. Right? And again, when you watch The Woman King, you realize that, and when we going back to this topic earlier, men the woman's a slave, y'all. The woman is not a slave. She is the life giver on this planet. Who taught you that mess? Who taught you that mess? We keep reverting back to the era of Adam. That when the accountability part is due, we blame in somebody else. Since we so male over the household, then when it's time to be male over the household, take accountability for it yourself. And stop blaming the kids, right? And stop blaming your wife. Stop blaming the dog. Blame yourself. That's a challenge to us all, gentlemen, right? Just the same as for the women. It's the same as for the children. Maybe even sometimes a little less for the kids, because until you reach a certain age, like they say, that age of accountability, really your parents are over you to an extent, right? But we got to be careful how much we negate. If the Bible is correct, which in this thought I do believe it is true that it's correct, you should not let people despise you because of your youth. Then if you shouldn't let them despise you of your youth, you don't let them despise you of the reverse, which would be your age or your elderness. You shouldn't let them despise you because of your maleness or your femaleness. Somebody, huh? You shouldn't let them despise you because of whether you are light skin toned or dark skin toned. Doesn't matter what it is, whether you're dumb or smart, right? And again, these words are just descriptions of your educational range. They don't make you one or the other. See, much like in the Willie Lynch letter that people want to discredit, one of the things Master used to divide up the slave to keep them bound was whether one was smart or whether they were dumb. Read through the letter, you'll see it. Breaking up homes. This is one of these things people talk about a lot. It's an attack on the family. It's an attack on the family. See, this is why this whole thing with Donnie Swaggart really gets. This is why part of it gets under my skin. But again, we understand what's going on, so you take it for as it goes. You're gonna tell me the things that you're gonna tell people what's anti-God. Anti-God is not being able to hold your black brother and sister's hand in worship toward the maker that made you both. That's the. And you won't address that issue, though, man. You won't talk about how many denominations there are in the church based out of racism. You won't say it. You won't say it. Because again, this is where the attack comes from whatever what's the word? Ordination you're from or organization you belong to, because this is what it's turned into. It ain't about belief, it's about the organization you belong to. This is why we talked last year about nationalism and patriotism surrounding the election day episodes. Guys and gals, what are we defending? What you defending? You defending these people putting down other people around you? No wonder you won't get more money on your job. We got to defend life, man. We got to defend life. Otherwise, you're doing the opposite, which would be anti-life, right? For our DC fans out there, right? That whole Infinite on Crisis on Infinite Earths that they made the animated movie out of the comic book from a bunch of years back in the 80s, right? The anti-monitor. Life and anti-life. That's what you got, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. No, man, this stuff here is very pseudo. We got to be careful. We got to talk to each other. Don't feel like you're annoying. You're not annoying. And people stop making folks feel like they're annoying. Where are the places of refuge? You know what? One thing that you're going to see from a lot of these things, whether you talk about Ryan Walters with these Trump Bibles, it doesn't matter what you bring up, right? It doesn't matter what you bring up. The one thing that resounds, that has always been, is that we need to know where the places of refuge are. The Harriet Tubmans need to stand up, right? Since Eminem made that song about the real Slim Shady, the Harriet Tubmans need to stand up, right? These people in places of refuge where you can go and not be looked down upon, y'all need to stand up in the homosexual community, in the transgender community, LGBTQ plus community. I don't care. We're not here to make fun of folks. Women, y'all need to bet. Men, we talking about, and men who love women, women who love men, and all in between. Because again, you want to talk about an attack on the family, we talking about attack on life. Which family is a part of life, okay? And families in all their varieties, because as long as you're supporting life, love, and liberty, that's all that matters. I don't care whether you're homosexual doing it or heterosexual, right? Well, maybe that's the thing. Maybe we do care about that. But if that's the case, I damn sure ain't gonna X you off because I care about something else. We're not doing that. We definitely ain't doing, or is that what we're doing, y'all? Even more so why places of refuge are necessary. Colossians chapter 2. And we're just gonna bring up one little thing here because this thing gets a little deep. We ain't trying to go into all the other things here, but I want to bring out something that's very important. The basis of this thing is dealing with that which is of a spiritual nature, dealing with the redemption of man, right? Humans, okay, on a spiritual basis. So for those who, as we use that little catchphrase from the verse there, for those who are spiritual, if you want to kind of get a study on it, you can read the rest of the thing, right? But again, it gets into a certain two verses. One I want to bring out is Colossians 2:8, because we got to be careful here when we read these verses that you don't discredit things that are actually necessary. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Look at the basis of the whole of the phrase. Philosophy is not a bad thing, y'all. Understanding. Let's again just real quick here as we close, because we in the close. We're already 30 minutes in. We in the close, so we're gonna finish up here. The systematic study of fundamental questions about the world and ourselves, right? Existence, reason, knowledge, value, mind, language. This is definitions that you're just looking through. I'm just looking through just by typing in the word philosophy. Okay. You put in, let's do it this way. That's just typing the word philosophy. If we took it a little further, did the definition of philosophy from Oxford's dictionary, which we've talked about this on this podcast before, but repetition is necessary for learning. The study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. Again, if you want to be disciplined in your mind, you start finding out about the fundamental nature of this world around you. And when you start looking at it from the standpoint of people groups, dwelling together in unity, you can clearly see where the disunity or the discord is, or the separating and the discord sown amongst the brethren, as the Bible says, right? That Nazi mess ain't bringing nobody together. This Tennessee bill trying to ban interracial, transgender, homosexual marriages, right? That ain't bringing nobody together. See, again, you can make a bill that would deal with the inadequacy parts of things, or imbalances of things, where you're not supporting sexual abuse or domestic violence of certain sorts. But no, notice the things that they are doing exactly. Passed this year, by the way. Now, of course, when you look up Bill, what did we say it was? 878, 828, 878, right? Like most things in government, the thing was already passed last year, and then they wrote it into law this year, or they then reused the word passed. You got to be careful because of how government operates. The thing you see today has already been in the works. That's how it works, right? It's like that throughout history. That's how they do things. That's how this government does things, okay? Many things in life, sometimes you would explain the thing, and then you actually go and deal on it. We do that sometimes in our life. Hey, I'm gonna go to Cancun next year. Okay, you ain't got the money this year, but then you save up, you get it next year, right? They just take it and put the steroid needle to it, I guess, if you will. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Vain deceit is the part that's really describing that phrase right there, because that's the point. People stuck on themselves. That's what the word vain means. This is why I say when you see pride in the Bible, it's not talking about that. It's talking about vain, vanity, vainglory. These are old school words that were used. It's about you. Again, like the song, you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. Sorry. Right? No, y'all. It ain't about me solely. That's what vanity deals with. It's about the conglomeration. It's about the group of people. While we in National Heritage, Native Heritage Month, man, shout out to the native one time, man. All across this planet. Of course, we're also talking about in the Americas, but all across this planet, man. Shout out to y'all passing down knowledge, whether some of it taken and some of it shared, right? Thank y'all very much, man. After the tradition of men. Folks get hung up on that tradition of men. We have seen that phrase in the Bible multiple times, man. You better be careful. And after the rudiments of this world, again, this bringing the light. I don't even want to really. This is for time. I really don't want to do rudiments, but we'll just do. Oh boy, my computer's giving me a little. Here we go. First principles of, again, out of Oxford's dictionary. An undeveloped or immature part of an organ, part or organ, especially a structure in an embryo or larvae that will develop into something. That's telling, because this is rudiment as far as in terms of biology. Undeveloped. Many of us are going off things that we don't know the fullness of. Interesting, because the Bible talks about how you'll know as you'll be known. You will know as you are already known. We only know part of ourselves right now, y'all. The search is to search the rest of it. Anyway, you get down into this, you get down into 16. That's where we're going to stop. Let no man therefore judge you in what you eat. Now they say meat. And let you in what you, again, this is the Bible now, all with the judgments, right? And you got this part of it here. Balance. We need balance, y'all. Judge you in meat or what you drink or in respect of a holy day or of the new moon. Shout out to our witches one time, man. We unfortunately put aside some folks we should not have. There's much to learn. There's much to learn from the various people groups on this planet, right? Or of the whole, or of the Sabbath days. That's where we're going to stop, y'all, right? Again, don't let people put you down because you got stuff you got to talk about, y'all. You got stuff you got to talk about. That's what we're here for. We ain't here to work on the plantation all day. It's more to life than that, right? These are just things from the hearts, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking, don't let that defense come up in your mind. Ain't nobody talking down to nobody. That ain't this, that. No. No. As a family, we got to talk about Bruno. Right? Shout out to that movie Encanto, man. If you want your family whole, ladies and gentlemen, you better start talking about Bruno in a light by which you can obtain and grasp wholeness, healing, and health for you and your family, right? So that's what I got for y'all today, ladies and gentlemen. As always, thank you for walking this road with me. And until next time, as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.